Hello and welcome back to the boat shed. We've got a few things on the go today, but we're going to start working on the bottom of the boat here. We've got some help potentially on the way to get it stripped, cleaned up, dried out. Let's get going on that. In case you're new here, my name is John and this boat is Antidote. Now, I'm not a pro boat builder. I'm an engineer and a sailor with the dream of fixing up this old boat to go sail around the world someday. We've got a lot of work to do first. Now, we've been working on a ton of different projects lately, and I'm going to get you updated on some of those in a minute. But first, over here. We want to get all these through hull fittings removed before we clean this hull down. And we have this one guy sticking out quite a bit here. And you'll see some of them have already been removed, and you might remember that from a previous video. And then in a follow-up, we actually scarfed out that hole, patched it with fiberglass, and generated a lot of controversy on the proper order of fiberglass patching, if it's large patch to small or small to large. And if you have an opinion on that and haven't seen that video, check it out up here. It was an interesting watch. These type of through hull fittings are not my favorite with the grate integrated into them. They tend to always fill up with barnacles, and then they're like super hard to clean out. I'm not sure what the plan is here. So we're gonna try and get this guy off. Let's see how that goes. I'm trying to apply a bit of heat to see if I can soften the adhesive that's likely holding this thing together. I don't think we're gonna be able to unthread it this way. It's almost guaranteed to fail, but it's kind of fun to try sometimes. Probably just the whole thing spun. Let's go in and see. Well, sure enough, I was able to wiggle a pipe wrench in there, and that should capture this valve, so place your bets now on if this through hull will actually unthread. This feels too easy. What do you know, it actually seems to be holding. Well, that wasn't too bad actually, and you can definitely see that we are full of mussel shells there. So yeah, these things get really clogged up. One down. And that probably explains why the forward head wasn't getting any intake water to properly flush, and I'm glad that I checked that before I used it for its intended purpose. Now we've got a lot more Seacocks on each side of the boat here to get rid of various shapes and sizes for different functions. The largest of them are right down here. These are the 1.5 inch through hulls that drain the cockpit. Not too bad to access from down here, but on the other side, the engine, it's pretty tight in there, and this large engine exhaust elbow is kind of in the way. So we're gonna do our best here to get all these out, and then we'll see where we're at. We're gonna try and reuse as many of these locations as possible as is practical. Let's take a quick second to say thanks to the folks on Patreon that really help make this channel a possibility, especially the folks whose names are appearing now on the screen. Thank you all so much. If you're interested in joining the Patreon group, you can check out this link right up here. Back to the video. And now for the last one. And that is the last of them. So 11 in total, ranging from 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inch diameter, all below the waterline, of course. And that's a lot of bronze. So we have a couple of through-hole transducers still to take out. We'll pop those out later, but All that bronze sitting on the floor. I wonder if there's something interesting that I could do with those. If you have any ideas, or you have a bronze foundry of your own, let me know, and let me know what you think in the comments down below about an interesting idea for those. So I promised that I would let you in on what's going on with some of those other projects that we've had on the go. So let's go inside now and take a look at those windlass cases. Back on track with the windlass cases, and you'll remember that we left off last time with needing to fill in these bearing shells. That's just to provide a nice even surface for the paint and also just keep everything on the right side of the box. Oil in, water out. And I've tested out 2 different options for this. I'm sure there's many more. And one is an RTV called Honda Bond, which I really like. I've used that a lot in the past. And Life Caulk is highly rated, oil compatible, sands, and supposedly paintable. So the big thing here is to see if we can get paint to stick to these. So we'll do a quick sand test to see how that goes, and then stick on some Interprotect and see if it adheres well. And now this was taking forever to cure, but I actually found that spraying it with water, apparently this stuff cures better in the presence of moisture, which is sort of a foreign concept, I think, for a lot of us. When you think about paint drying and stuff, you kind of want it to be drier and warmer. This does best in warm yet humid conditions, and it is firming up better now. So let's try and touch up these spots and see if it'll take any paint. Initial impression, the Life Caulk did not sand as well as I'd hoped, but acceptable. And then the Honda Bond actually took a bit of a scratch, better than I thought it would. Let's move on to the primer. "24 hours later, it's the following day, and these have dried up pretty well. You can see there is the Life Caulk, and there's the Honda Bond, and they both actually look pretty acceptable. I was expecting the Honda Bond maybe to fisheye a lot and not adhere at all. It seems to have done okay. I do see some sort of dots on the Honda Bond side, and I'm wondering if that's just though from me spraying the water on there, and then as it evaporates, it's left that marking behind. I don't know, it's hard to say. Let's do a few things to see if we can get it to peel up, get it started. Yeah, we'll just check it out, but they both seem like they'll be acceptable. And if that's the case, I'll probably stick with the Honda Bond because it just is a lot faster to use. Let's see. And I'm gonna try just to cut across the profile here and see if it pulls up between where I didn't sand it and where I did sand it, if it's easier. So the unsanded part, it just peeled right off. Let's see if it's any better on the sanded side. It's definitely bonded better over the sanded area versus like over here where it just falls right off. Let's see how the Life Caulk does. Okay, so here it seems to be, yeah, I have to cut it out. The Life Caulk definitely wins as far as bonding to the primer. A common test in the paint adhesion world is to do a crosshatch, where you basically draw a tic-tac-toe board on your part and then put some tape on it and try and peel the paint back. So let's do that real quick to see if we've come up with anything interesting. We're just gonna freehand it. So there's all of our ticks. And let's do the Honda Bond side too, just for fun. Well, I think that kind of already shows you everything you need to know. Just for fun, let's keep going. We'll start first with just regular old masking tape. A little less aggressive, just to see. And here on the Honda Bond, pulled off a lot of the paint right onto the tape. So then on the Life Caulk, pretty clean. Nothing really there. Now we'll try with a bit of duct tape. So the only part that pulled up was from where I already started to remove it. Well, there we go. We have the results. So the Life Caulk looks really good. It's only got that one little nick from where I cut it out by hand with a knife. And then the Honda Bond has come apart pretty significantly, but it's not what it's designed to do. It's a great product for putting engines and stuff together where you want oil tolerance, but it's not for painting. So we thought we could maybe try, didn't work. We'll go with the Life Caulk. It's gonna meet all the requirements that we have. It's just gonna take a little bit longer to cure up. Before I smear this in, I went ahead and cleaned up all these holes, and I also covered them with some tape just so that I don't get this stuff all over the place. It is kind of tricky to clean up. It's really sticky stuff, so I'd like to be able to peel the tape off and just have the holes covered with a little bit of room around them for some light sanding. Here we go. One of the benefits of this taking so long to dry is I don't have to worry about it drying in the tube between me testing it and using it now today. Fantastic. Overall, these came out pretty good. There's going to be just a little bit of sanding or trimming needed to get those flush, but I think we're going to be just fine. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while for these to cure. Some of them being as deep as they are could take 10 days to even 2 weeks to cure. So we might have to kind of put this up on the shelf. There's 2 here that I didn't cover, and that's because they're going to be underneath the motor. So we'll use the Honda Bond for that because that's the sealant that I prefer to use for sticking that motor on. All right, well, let's put these back on the shelf and let them cure. Careful viewers of the channel might detect a bit of time travel here, and you're not wrong. It's been a few weeks since we plugged the windlass case, and these have solidified quite nicely, in fact. But now I did realize that as I was getting ready to prime, that I wanted to cover this 5th one since it's going to get covered in primer. I just didn't think about that originally. So that kind of reset the clock. These have been in the workshop here next door, drying, curing for quite a while in a bit of raised temperature and humidity to get that process kicked off. The Life Caulk, although I think it's going to work really well, it does take a very long time to set up and fully cure. Some of these are thick enough that it was almost 21 days, like 3 weeks. So factor that in if you're going to be using that product. But I think it's going to work really great, and the next step here is to prime these. So the next time you see these windlass cases, we'll be finishing the painting and hopefully bolting the whole thing back together. So very exciting. Stay tuned for that. Something that I started thinking about as I'm getting ready to put the windlass back together is how do I prevent water from going down into this bore? Previously, water had leaked in there and rotted out the area around the windlass case, around the seal here. So I'd really love to prevent that. And I started thinking maybe I could build a little part that would sort of act like an umbrella and seal around the stainless shaft and then divert water into this hole here. And as I was thinking of ways to make a part for that, I thought this would be a really cool opportunity to try to 3D print some parts for this project. So now I set up this Qidi +4 3D printer so I could start experimenting with 3D printing parts for this project. Now this is something that I am totally new to. I have no experience. So after some test prints using a couple of different filaments, I started to feel pretty comfortable, and then I started downloading some different gadgets and doodads from Printables, which is a free online source, so that I could clean up some things around the shop here. So first of all, we got rid of some clutter with these old tap handles that have been sort of cluttering up my desk. Found a nice little hanger, put these up on the wall. Then I found this really cool springy latch gadget that is designed to seamlessly work in the back of this gripper push stick that many of you have been very politely asking me to start using more on this channel. So this is going to keep this part up and out of the way, which is another thing that I love. But now what about those things that you just can't seem to find parts for? So I started to do some custom builds, and this is where things get really fun. So I downloaded this free program called Blender, and this program can be set up pretty easily to draft accurate parts to print on your 3D printer so you can solve some problems around the house. And now this is the vacuum end that comes on the vacuum in the shop, the boat shed. And I've tried to find a nice dust brush for this, and I just cannot seem to get, this is the closest I could find. I can't get an exact fit for that. But they did send this with an adapter, which all goes together, and it's this really goofy contraption that's always falling apart and bothering me and annoying me. Without too much effort, we were able to draft up a part that will work really well, that accepts the vacuum attachment and then fits right on my system. And this is printed out of a pretty high quality ABS, so it should last quite a while. getting back to the issue with the windlass, let's design another part in Blender that will seal the water out of getting into that shaft. I think it makes sense to use some of the spare seals, and we'll design a bore that will accept that. So I think we're ready to put this on the printer now and see how it looks. So we're going to be breaking it off the plate here. You'll see that the supports are in there right now. So those usually break away. So this is an ABS, but just a draft part. So we're going to see if the seal fits. Let's get it removed, see how it does. Overall, it looks like this piece is going to work. Now it is just a little bit tight on the seal. And so if we're just 20 thousandths off, it's like 2 sheets of paper. So that's pretty darn close. I'm pretty impressed actually. I might try to open it up just a slight bit on the model to see if we get a better fit. But I think I'm feeling good. We're gonna print this piece now in the full specs. A couple of iterations later, and I'm really happy with the part. I did tweak the design a little bit. I actually redid the bottom so that it prints better on the plate without the supports, but still maintains that drip edge to make sure that the water doesn't go back towards the seal. I also added a little step inside the bore so that the seal would press in a little bit easier. In the end, the part is made out of ASA, which is supposed to be a little bit more weather resistant than ABS, even though this isn't really going to seal out of UV, probably. But if it does wear out and break, the good news is I can just print more. That's the beauty of a rapid prototyping machine like this. Well, that was really fun. It's exciting to see a part come to life from an idea as quickly as that. And the possibilities are literally endless. So I have a whole bunch of things buzzing around inside my head that I can do with this thing. And I think I'm addicted to 3D printing now. I'll put links down below to all of the resources that I've listed in this video in case that helps any of you. And Qidi have also given me a coupon code that I could share with you. So if you're looking to save a few bucks on a printer like this, you can check that out if you are interested. This is the part of the video where I was going to ask you to do something for me that really helps the channel out, but I cannot remember what it was. I'm sure it will come to me later. Now, let's see if I can find a way to print a new deck for this boat. Good morning. It is another day here in the Northwest. It's early, gray, and overcast, but that's okay. We are gonna go on a little trip here. The best part about doing all this on YouTube is the community that builds around it. I've said that before. And so we are gonna go on a trip to visit another project, and you definitely know who they are. If you don't, you should be subscribing to their channel, oh my goodness. So we're gonna go give them a hand. Really, I'm probably just gonna try not to get in the way. It should be a lot of fun, and it's gonna lead up to some other work that's happening on this boat. So it all will tie together in the end. But it's early, so let's get going. All right, we're on the boat now. We're heading out to the abyss, to the great unknown. Hang on. To whoever's leaving puzzles on Washington State ferries for people to play, I like your style. Let's see how far we can get. Hey, Jan.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good, man. Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
So to all of you out there, this is Jan. He's a friend of ours, and we met at the Vancouver International Boat Show. You're actually going to see him in a video coming up very soon, so kind of a weird timeline here, but Jan is giving us a ride today to see Matt and Janni. We're in Port Townsend. That's where we took the ferry to. And so we're going to go catch up there and then see where the story takes us. Stick around.
Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We saw the job posting.
Yeah. Come on over. We got things to do.
Get to work.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait, this is gigantic.
Yeah, so this is
the boom?
This is the original boom that came off of Duracell that Mike Plant sailed with. It's a 300-pound boom.
Are you serious?
The next one is the original mast, and as you can see, there's only about a third of it left, so the rest of it's at the bottom of the ocean. And the last one is what will be our new mast, and that's off of an Andrews 70.
And how long is this thing? It's massive.
It's 81 feet.
Good grief, it looks incredible.
Yep, we'll chop a little bit off, but yeah, it's a big rig.
My doctor says I can't lift more than 25 pounds, so I should probably just leave this alone?
Yep.
All right.
I also hope to leave it alone. I would love to get a new one if I could.
Something different, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's go see the project. Wow, this looks awesome up here. It must feel really good to get the primer on.
Yes, for sure. It's fantastic seeing the boat all in one color.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot left to do, but you know, we're on our way. This is where we'll stop the tour. We have a lot going on in the back.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for these exciting projects that John is helping us out with. You might hear the vacuum pump going in the background, which is a little hint for what we've been working on.
That's right. Well, really great to be here, Matt, and hang out with you and Janni. And well, if you are new to the channel and you'd like to get caught up from the very beginning, you can hit this playlist button right over here. And if you want to subscribe for more of this content, this button here will get you there. See you next time.
Bye.
You know, but now you got this really long thing and it's always falling apart. What am I to do? I feel like a commercial.
You really got to learn how to do this.
Yeah, we'll get there.